Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Coots.
And I'm Tank.
Thank you for joining us for another edition of This or That
Movies.
Ooh. So we're going to be talking about one of my favorites. Well, both of the favorites of mine, and hard picks, thank you.
You're welcome.
So Neverending Story and Labyrinth.
Yeah. Not a difficult decision for me in any way, shape, or form. It's absolutely the Neverending Story.
Neverending Story, you went that way?
Absolutely, and here's why. I enjoyed Well, what's your pick first, and then we'll get into
Labyrinth. Easy one.
It's Labyrinth. Easy?
Easy.
Not even close?
Not even close. I love Neverending Story. I watched it a million times.
Yeah, same.
I even watched it recent.
Yeah, same.
And then watched the sequel. And the sequel
did
not hold up.
No, you don't do that.
They made 3.
Well, I'm aware. I've never seen the third one. I saw the second one and I said, well, that's over and I'll never have to watch
again,
that.
It's way worse.
I'm good.
It's way crappier.
I'm good.
First one, I love the first movie. Labyrinth is, again, one of those movies I can pop on anytime, know it backward, forward. I can cite it almost word for word. Sing everything, know all the songs, all of that. Huge David Bowie fan. Jennifer Connelly, the whole cast is so much better. And Jim Henson sold it. As soon as I saw Jim Henson sold as a kid, I already knew who Jim Henson was. Jim Henson all the way wins for me. Bing.
So, it's definitely Neverending Story for me, and here's why. As a child, I loved Labyrinth. Loved it, watched it all the time, and I didn't see it between age I saw it like ages 8 to 12. That was probably the girth, like the amount of, I watched it the most, and it was great, and the songs, as I've mentioned before, I think David Bowie is arguably one of the creepiest human beings to ever walk the face of the earth, in my opinion. He just creeps me out. It doesn't mean he's a bad person, or I hate him, or I think he's an awful human being, or that he did bad things during his life. He just creeps me out. Him and Prince are the ones that they terrify me. So I'm not scared of very many people, but David Bowie to be like, hi, and I'd be like,
I've got to see him multiple times, loved him, and grew up with David Bowie, but it was legit when I watched this movie 2 days ago. I watch it probably 5 times a week.
Mm-hmm. You do not watch Labyrinth 5 times a week.
1.5 times a week.
All right, that's fair.
But that's the only part. My one daughter, Dallas, really loves it. We watch it constantly.
So I didn't watch it between age 12. I can tell you exactly where I was. I know it. So I was 12, maybe 13 last time I watched it, and then I was 19 years old, living on my own, and I was really, really into this woman who was 38 at the time, and she was like, I don't know, you're 19, I'm so much older, and I'm like, I don't care, it's fine with me, I'm good with it. And so she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna, my roommates and I are gonna watch a movie, why don't you come over and hang out, we'll watch a movie. I'm like, cool. So I was hanging out there, and they put on Labyrinth, and I hadn't seen it in 7 years, and at this point I'm 19 years old. And that is when I realized it's a 2-hour movie, or plus or minus whatever it is, about David Bowie's dick in a leotard. You don't notice that when you're 8 years old, and I've never been the guy that's intimidated by big dick energy. But my God, I watched that movie as a 19-year-old, and I was like,
oh no, he stretches and stands there
purposely, the camera angle, they shoot it up, and he's in a white lead. You can see the veins in it's the most disturbing. I'm like, I'm sorry, this is a children's film? I thought it was about this child getting abducted, but it's an infant baby that gets abducted by a creepy guy with a terrible haircut with an anaconda in his pants. It's terrifying, dude. I was like, oh my God. I'm now I understand why all women like to watch this movie as adults and why they love David Bowie.
Also,
I'm like,
it's
good
Welcome to
God.
Labyrinth and my crotch.
Yeah, seriously. It's it's Labyrinth and the penis of David Bowie.
You know what?
So I'm and it's not that it makes it a bad movie.
My daughter, now she's in between, she just turned 12, and she's like, Dad, I think David Bowie's hot. I'm like, well, no, it's good.
Weird.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Every girl is, it's a thing. Yeah, Labyrinth, still hard for me, Labyrinth.
No, it's definitely Neverending Story. It's definitely not because I'm afraid of David Bowie's dick. I don't feel like it's a kid's movie. When I watched it as a 19-year-old, I'm like, this is not a movie that's appropriate for children.
So when you saw it and it was like starring David Bowie's penis.
Yeah, that's what it should say. Like David Bowie happened to be attached to it, but it is a movie starring David Bowie.
And his anaconda.
He's on a throne at the top of a large staircase, and the camera's here the whole time, and he's in a white leotard.
There you go.
Wow. So yeah, definitely Neverending Story for me.
Labyrinth, hard. All right.
Yeah, pun intended.
Boom.
So make sure you like and subscribe. Like and share our page. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Radio Rhapsody with Coots and Tank. And our Facebook page, Radio Rhapsody with Coots and Tank.
I'm Coots.
I'm Tank, and we'll see you next time, kids.
Peace.